Hey, welcome back to the shop, everybody. Today I want to give you an update. I am approaching 80 hours on my Cimarron XTL30. I have had the machine for the better part of 2025. We're now in January of 2026. And over that time, I've tried to use the machine with every attachment that I have, and I've tried to do some work with it. I wanted to give you guys a review of my experience, not only with the Cimarron, but since Cimarron is just an importer of machines from China, this is really more of a review of what you can expect or should expect from your Chinese mini skid steer. So first and foremost, I bought this machine with my own money. Cimarron, as far as I know, doesn't even remember that I bought this machine. They don't talk to me, I don't talk to them. I wish them well in their endeavors. But when I purchased the machine, I read the agreement really well. And the warranty with the machine is for parts only, no labor. So I just knew I'd have to understand how to work on this machine. So I do, and I have. So let me get the headline out of the way. This machine's performed really well for me. I have some pros and some cons that I'm going to share with you today. But for the most part, I'm happy with my machine. It does what I ask it to do. It does it the way that I ask it to do it. It's easy to control. It's smooth. The Kubota D1105 has performed the way you would expect a Kubota motor to perform. And I would honestly say one of the best pros of this machine is the Bandolini and Prevesi pump stack that's in it. So let me get into kind of the pros and the cons and the cons and the pros. So hopefully you can make an educated decision, because we're seeing more and more of these machines come into the United States, and they're not all the same. They may look the same, but the components inside make a significant difference in your experience with a machine. Before I jump into that, I just want to ask, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really helps out the channel. Leave a comment, share it with your friends. I would appreciate that a lot as I continue to make content to tell you about my experience, and hopefully you have the same experience that I have, because mine's positive. I'm going to start with the negatives, because everyone wants to know the bad stuff, and then I'll get into all the good stuff. There are three things that I think are really the biggest downfalls of this particular machine. This is not for all imported Chinese mini skids. This is just this particular machine. It could be an example. It could be the way this one was built. It could be the way it was tuned. It could be any number of reasons, but this is my lived experience. The website, when you look at the Cimarron XTL30s, gives you an estimated miles per hour transfer speed. You know, if you're going from place to place on a job, how fast should you expect it to go? I want to say that's close to about 5 miles an hour. This one comes in at 3.9 miles per hour was the best that I could get it up to. Video up here. That is not a problem when you are in a working situation where you're going forwards and backwards, you're moving tree limbs, you're moving debris, you're moving material. That's really not a bad speed, because it's fast enough that you can feather the controls and move the machine simultaneously. It's not bad for that. And when I need to go from the front to the back, which is about 1,400 linear feet, it takes a minute to get there. An extra mile or mile and a half an hour would be nice. So that is a con for me, is that I wish it would travel faster, the travel speed. So the speed when working is fine. It's only travel speed between jobs. Okay, I'll get all three of the big ones. The next big one for me, it needed more weight, more counterweight. So video here, but I went out and got my own counterweights. I worked with a guy locally to cut them out for me, mounted them to the machine, and I saw a big improvement. In transparency, I plan to add another inch to inch and a half plate on the back of the fuel tank and the hydro tank as soon as I can find the raw material. Does the machine need it for the work that I'm doing? It does need it. I tend to lift some heavier things, and the good thing is this machine lifts some weight. But even with my small stature on the back, it could use extra counterweight. So I think that's a negative. I think Qimron should add counterweight to this or have reasonably priced counterweight options that you can add to your machine. All the machines that you're buying at auction have minimal to no counterweight at all. So if you get into heavy lifting, be prepared to adapt counterweights to your machine. The guys with the gas-powered machines have already figured this out and have come up with a bunch of ingenious ways to add counterweight. You're going to want to add it too. Okay, my third major negative for the machine, and this is straight cost. This machine listed on the website, the price that I paid was $21,900 plus tax out the door. By the time you added tax on, it was $24,000 and change. That sucked. I didn't like that at all. But I made that decision knowing what the cost was. Today, if I was in the market to look at a machine, there are a bunch of importers of these machines today. You have a bunch of different machines to choose from. Derette has two models now. The V1000, I think, was still in version 1.5, and they're in probably version 5 of the V1000. They now have the XC1100. You have several different versions of the VMENG machines, and there's even more coming into the marketplace every week. Compare prices to help you make your decision. There are always trade-offs to price, but this is one of the more expensive machines in the market space, and I would say pound for pound of lift capacity and weight capacity, this machine's a bit overpriced. The next few negatives are truly personal preference, minor, and could be improved to make the value a little bit better. This machine, from when I changed the hydraulic fluid, video in the corner, does not have a drain plug for the hydro fluid. That makes a tremendous mess. It's a pain in the butt. It would be so easy to weld a drain bung into the tank to make changing the hydraulic fluid better. No doubt about it. There's not a drain plug for the diesel fuel either. If you had to drain the diesel out of this machine, you're going to have to use one of the electronic transfer pumps and suck it out. Not a problem, but how easy would it be to put a drain plug in? Super easy. They should do that for the price of this machine. The draining of the oil, video in the corner, is also a mess. I learned a lot. I can do a better job today, but how easy would it be to put a remote drain hose on your machine, like all the big boy manufacturers do, for draining the oil? Would be much easier, much cleaner, could and should be done for the price of this machine. Okay, and the last negative that I have, again, personal preference, the dash is hard for me to see. Other manufacturers have a similar design here, but the dash extends all the way to the edge of the machine, whereas this one has this just tombstone mound. Because of this, you don't have as much real estate for gauges. They use an electronic gauge cluster, which isn't a problem, but it's hard to see because you have the the grip for the drive joystick right in front of it. So it's not easy to see. That's a design feature. They could so improve that. Personal preference of mine. Let's talk about the positives of this machine. Number one, I have had zero issues of the tracks coming off of this machine. I firmly believe the design of the track system on this style of machine is superior to every other track system made. And let me tell you why. Both the front and rear idlers are larger in diameter, and they capture the center cleats so they cannot move left or right. So if you have even basic tension on your tracks, for that to throw a cleat off, which is what happens, you're going to have to be in a pretty interesting situation. Turning the machine puts the most stress on those tracks, and having the larger idlers really keeps that track on and maintains what you're looking for so you don't throw tracks. So out of 80 hours of use on rock, on concrete, on dirt, in the mud, I have not had any concerns or issues throwing a track. Big positive there. Number two on the pros. This uses the standard dingo attachment plate setup. Everybody's moving that way now, which is wonderful, but originally when machines were coming into the United States, you had the CII, or the Common Industry plate, or you had a smaller plate. I purposely chose this machine looking at the offerings because it had the standard plate, and that has proven to be the best decision I made because every attachment I've been able to rent, borrow, or buy, or build have all worked flawlessly. Really good for me. Going back to the tracks, the wheel bearings that are in the track idlers are bogey wheels. So, video in the corner, I found out that the bearings are sealed. You can buy replacement bearings stateside from Timken Bearing, which is wonderful. And they are the same wheel bearings used in older model Ford F-150s for the front. So that's wonderful. You have a common part, you can source it locally, it's sealed, and it's easy to change if needed. I've had no issues in 80 hours with the bearings on this machine, but I feel so much more comfortable that if I had problems, I can fix them. Okay, and I would say the single biggest positive of this particular machine is the Bondolini and Pavesi pump stack. Let me tell you why. I reached out to Bondolini and Pavesi USA. I said, I have some information on some pumps that are in an imported mini skid steer. Can you help me with information? The gentleman was super nice, said, yes, I can. Can you please send me photos of the build plates on the pumps and I will help you. Perfect. Here's everything about the pumps. Here's how to adjust them. They are specifically, this pump stack and the ones you will find in some other machines that use Bondolini and Pavesi pumps, they're specific part numbers sold to China only. There is an American counterpart for the pump, so there is a SKU or part number that is an American part number, but these pumps are made in Italy, but they're sold specifically to the China market. He said, not a problem. Here's the good news. He said, I think they're Virginia, we have all the equipment, if you need it, to test, repair, work on, and fix these pumps. I said, that's wonderful. The best part about it is he told me the part numbers for all of the seal kits I needed for this pump. That is an extremely comforting thing to know. I'm on most of the Facebook groups, and every day you see a post, my pump went out, I don't know what to do. And for me, having Bondolini and Pavesi pumps is wonderful because I've now spoken to the manufacturer, an engineer for them, who's given me everything I need to know about my specific pump stack, including all the seal kits if I ever need them. That is everything you could ask for. Okay, so those are my pros. Great pump stack, common attachment plate, no track issues, and easy to find and source wheel bearings. You just can't get a better thing than that for me. I have made a number of improvements and modifications to this machine over the way it came. I've added a chainsaw mount because I'm often on my property doing chainsaw work and even starting to do chainsaw work for neighbors who just need small clearings completed. So having that chainsaw readily available is perfect. I've added a couple of bungee mounts here so I can keep a shovel on the machine. You saw where I got stuck and had to dig myself out. And so having that is always necessary. By the way, everyone gave me some great feedback. I appreciate it. The next time I get stuck, I'll film it. We'll try some of your suggestions and see if I'm more successful. I added a cell phone holder. This machine at $21,900 does not come with a cell phone holder. Why not? I added one. I added USB ports so that I can charge my phone, but I added it. I improved the lights. There were just 2 bug eyes on the machine. I took the bug eyes off. I added a small light bar and 2 new, brighter bug eyes, and it's working great. And in the future, you will see a video where I add a diverter valve so that I can expand the hydraulic functionality of the machine. In closing, at 80 hours, I do not regret my purchase at all. If it had been cheaper, I could have bought some attachments to go with it at the time of purchase, but instead, I've either built my attachments or I have found attachments at auctions and then modified them to make them higher quality to work for me. That's not an issue. It's content for all of you, but it would have been nice just to bring it home, hook up some attachments like so many of you are doing, and go right to work playing. Oh well. I do not regret my purchase. I'm pleased with my machine. It performs the way I want it to perform. My negatives are minimal and many things that I can easily overcome. When you're making a decision about a machine, I want you to be informed. I want you to know what to look for. I want you to know what to pay attention to. And I want you to also know what may look nice, but may not really be necessary when you're actually working with the machine. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this is helpful. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And stick around as we keep making more content with this machine to help you make better decisions about what you should buy, what you should expect, and what you can do with your Chinese mini skid. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.